Welcome to the Power of Your Mind podcast. I'm Victoria Gallagher, your host. Have you been attempting to use law of attraction or hypnosis to attract financial abundance, a soulmate, or career success? Would you like to be happy, motivated, and successful? Have better health, enjoy more fulfilling relationships, overcome struggle, and gain mastery over your life? Then join me on this amazing self-help podcast where you'll unleash the power of your mind. I'll be sharing 20 years of wisdom and techniques of hypnotherapy, law of attraction, visualization, meditation, personal growth, positive affirmations, and other effective methods to help you tap into the great power which resides in your mind and become the best version of yourself. So hello and welcome to today's episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. You're listening to episode number 66. I'm Victoria Gallagher, Law of Attraction coach and best-selling author of Practical Law of Attraction, Align Yourself with the Manifesting Conditions and Successfully Attract Your Desires. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist, founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps. So be sure to stop by HipTalk.com and sign up for your free self-hypnosis video training course. And for our listeners who found us through the Power of Your Mind podcast, you can get 35% off your first order of hypnosis downloads when you apply the code podcast in your shopping cart. Also, be sure to watch for and download our latest HypnoCloud app in the iTunes store. So today, I have a very special guest with me, Loren Lahav. Loren Lahav, the Stay True CEO, is an international personal development speaker, seminar leader, coach, author, philanthropist, entrepreneur, wife, and mother. She is the founder, chief executive officer, and president of Lobella International, an organization inspired to help women stay true to who they are. She is also the author of Life Tuneups, The Greatest Love, Being an Extraordinary Mom, Drama-Free Divorce Detox, and Chicken Soup for the Soul, Time to Thrive. Loren has a very busy career as a keynote speaker and multi-day trainer for many companies around the world. She has had the remarkable experience of traveling the world to help people discover who they are at their core for the past 25 years. Classy, brassy, and poised, Loren has shared the stage with notable celebrated luminaries such as Barbara Walters, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Mike Rowe, Kevin O'Leary, Barbara Corcoran, Aaron Brockovich, Campbell Brown, Robert Herjavec, Bear Grylls, and Jean Chatzky. And she has been featured in multiple publication and talk shows, including Success Magazine, Ladies Home Journal, Women's Day, Luxury Las Vegas, Fox News, The Strategy Room, Oprah Radio, Voice America, Unapologetically Authentic, many AM talk shows, and dozens of podcasts. So today, I will be talking to Loren Lahav about how you can tap into the power of your mind by staying true to you. So welcome to the show, Loren.
Thank you so much, Victoria. How are you?
I am awesome. I'm so privileged and honored to have you be a guest on this show. Sounds like you have really been on fire, just lighting the world on fire with all of your many appearances and your books, and it's just amazing what you have accomplished. So I'm really excited to tune into you today and learn a little bit about your story.
Well, thank you. Well, it's funny. A couple months ago, I had the opportunity to go hear Bear Grylls speak. I've spoken on the stage with him, but I went and actually heard him speak a couple months ago. And I love what he said. He came out on the stage, and they just read his bio about all the things that he had done. And but then he got out there and he goes, "You know what? I've done all those things, but I'm still scared." He goes, "I'd rather be home on the couch, just sitting there with my family and just hanging out with them." And I loved it because I think it was this feeling like everybody felt like he was just like them. And I think that for me too, is that feeling of like, I'm just a mama on a mission, going out there, just adding value wherever I can.
Yes, definitely. It is so much more comfortable just to stay home in our slippers and our jammies and just, stay in that little zone. But we have to get out there and make an impact. And it, it is something that helps you to grow, but it also really helps other people to grow. And I love your message about staying true. And so I'm really, really interested in finding out kind of like what your journey was that got you into wanting that to be your message. So like, how did that all come about? Like how did you come up with this message?
It's interesting. I don't know if I actually, okay, first of all, I have to just tell everybody, if I sound a little weird, I just had a filling. So if I make these weird noises, that's what it is. And I wanted to go ahead and do this with you. So I don't know if it's a visual, but you could probably see if it is visual, because I'm kind of swollen.
You look fine. You look fine.
Okay. Well, I just like, what are those weird noises coming from her? That's what it is. And I'm looking at myself and swollen. Anyway, my message of staying true, it really, I think that I've always had that in me. I just wasn't asking myself that question all the time. And what happened was, one time I was living out of the country teaching these events, and it was awesome. I mean, we were living in Fiji for 2.5 years. We were teaching these programs, 36 week-long programs. It was kind of like Groundhog Day. A group of people would come in, we'd fall in love with them. Then another group would come in, we'd fall in love with them. And it was awesome. Like I said, it was awesome. We were making a difference. We were helping people. But I felt something pulling me. And even though we were living there and doing a good job, I felt like I wasn't staying true to what I'm really here to do, which was to just, help people get back to that core. And what happened was, it's a crazy story, was while we were living in Fiji, I had written a book. Now it's been 23 years ago, and it was called The Greatest Love. Back then it was called No Greater Love, and it was published by St. Martin's. And it was not when all of us were writing books. It was like you had to either be a celebrity or, whatever. And so it was a really cool thing that was picked up by a major publisher. Well, my friend called me and she goes, Loren, she goes, look, she goes, you're about to get a call from someone, and don't you screw this up. Don't you screw it up, Loren, because you're on the short list. And I don't know if anybody remembers TV back in 2002, 2003. We probably all remember of all days that we were all watching, lots of different things on. There was, I think Jerry Springer was on, Dr. Phil, Oprah, shows. We remember back then, right? And she said, you're about to get a call. So I'm telling you, you're on the short list. So I got a call. And it was this girl, her name was Chelsea. She goes, hello, Loren, my name's Chelsea. I'm from Harpo Studios, and we love your book, and we want you to be on a show.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's cool. I was so
Every
excited.
author's dream, right?
Yeah.
Get that call.
And she said she goes, we want you to be on a show. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, Loren, don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. And I'm like, awesome. And I remember being in the office in Fiji, in this little tiny office, and as we're about to start the program, and I said, awesome. I go, what's the name of the show? And she goes, the show is How Do You Get Your Husband to Do More Around the House? And I took a deep breath, and I said, I'm not your girl. And she said, what? And I said, yeah, I'm not your girl. I go, and that's where the whole stay true thing happened for me.
Yeah.
If I take this, it's an amazing opportunity. Yes, it's everybody's dream. But for me, it was more important about staying true to myself.
Yes.
The reason why I did the book in the first place was more about honoring relationships, honoring that as a mother. I'm like, if you want me to do a show about how to,
manipulate your husband.
and spend more quality time with your spouse, then I'm your girl. I go, but I'm not the girl to talk about how to get your husband to do more around the house.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, are you kidding me? Like, you gave that up. Like, you had like this awesome opportunity, to do that. And once I said, like I said, it was more important for me to stay true to my message.
Yes.
Also, anytime I really work on, and I'm not perfect, obviously, but I really try to make my focus, like, if I do this thing, am I staying true to myself?
Right.
Or am I selling out? Or am I, doing something that might feel good in the short term, but maybe not so good in the long term? And I think that we can all relate to that, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it just sounds like you really, at that time, you were pretty grounded already in who you are and what your message was, because in order to have even been able to come up with that, I mean, most people, if they weren't grounded in who they were, then they would have jumped at that chance. Maybe they would have gone back and reassessed the situation and said, oh, you know what, I made a mistake. I don't think I can do this. But you were on it. I mean, you were just like, I know that this isn't who I am. And I would imagine, I mean, there's a price to pay for not staying true to who you are. And you knew that you weren't willing to pay that price.
That's what it was. But it's also, I think there's the other price too. I mean, my friend was like, I think for a while, she was like, wow, I, opened up this opportunity for, like being your cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
And for a couple of years, I'm looking at a picture of her on my board right over there. And, it was hard because I was like, she was such an important part of my life. She's my best friend now. And it was kind of cool because I did get to meet Oprah a couple of years ago, but and that felt right. You know what I mean? Like, I think everything's timing. I think we try to sometimes push things to happen when we're not ready. I remember talking to Bob Proctor, because Bob just read the foreword to my new book.
And, nice.
And I called him, and when we were talking on the floor, I was literally sitting on the floor talking to him. And I said, Bob, I owe you a huge apology. I said, I think that, when I was in my 30s and 40s, I thought that I knew everything, right? Like, I have answers to everything. And there's something about time in the saddle, right? Like having that experience. And I think, really that was a divine intervention from God to say, like, you're not ready. You're not ready to really share this message that you think you're so great at. And I think I needed just more experiences. So that's a little bit.
That's cool. Hey, I also you mentioned your vision board. And yesterday when we were in opposite roles, I got to see your vision board. So can you circle the camera around just in case this does go on video? This is the most amazing vision board, and this is just one of them. I mean, look at this wall. I've never seen anything quite like that of all the vision boards. That is phenomenal. You're definitely committed to your vision boards. And I mean, what would you say of the things that are on there? Like, what percentage of things? How long does that vision board go back?
This one goes back to 2000. I put the years, so hang on a second, and I'll tell you. 2000. This one goes back to 2012.
2012. So like 7 years in the making.
and I do a couple a year. I usually do a year for myself, but I mean, for me, it's really more about, not about things. I can see the evolution of who I am, what's going on in my life. A lot is about, who do I really need to become? That's what it's really focused on for me. And and then I put specific outcomes. You asked me, like, I think you're going to ask me, like, what things have I've actually accomplished there on there. So, like, let's see some specific, if I can read over there. Like, I had these years ago. Oh, that was actually longer. That's I had these shirts made. I went over to Malawi and I designed this shirt to raise money for the people in Malawi. I volunteered in Malawi. I had these shirts made. I did an event. I did an Australia Lobella event. I did my Life Tuneups radio show. I attended the Agassi event. The Greatest Love was in Target. What's that one? Joss gets my son, who's now 23, that he was in a commercial for Hot Wheels. Quinn made the lacrosse team. I mean, I'm just looking at all these just random things up there that I can see without my glasses. So yeah.
You know what? I love that, because so many people, when they make their vision boards, they put things like houses and cars and money and diamonds and jewelry and all the things, right? But I mean, it's not those things that you're going to be able to take with you. It's those experiences that stay with you forever. And so I love that you put all those different experiences on there, and that you've been able to manifest quite a lot of amazing experiences.
And a lot is just, really just doing the do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just putting on there. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to really make that happen? Who
exactly.
do I need to in order to really make that happen as well? So
yeah, it goes beyond just putting, scotch taping something on a vision board. You have to look at it, you have to imagine yourself with it, and then you have to act on the inspired ideas that you get on moving forward and making it happen. So congratulations on all of your accomplishments. And to me, it really just seems like the more authentic a person really is, like when you really know yourself, then that really becomes such a foundation for being able to manifest. In my personal opinion, if you don't really know who you are, then how can you possibly, you have all these things that you think you should want, right? But you know what you want because you're based in your true self. So what does it mean though? Like, explain to our Power of Your Mind listeners, what does stay true? What does that mean to you?
To me, it's about, I think we go through a couple different stages in our lives. And the first one is, discovering who you are. Mm-hmm. And really looking at it, like, what do I love? What do I love? Like, what drives me? What inspires me? What pisses me off? What do I like? I know people don't like to use the word hate, but you can use it as fuel, mm-hmm. In a way. And so I think first you have to go through that discovery process. Like for me, I love the sunrise, the sunset. I love, I love to be with my kids. I love just going for a ride. I love like hearing the words, I love you, mommy. I love, and so just really, I love a bath. And I think that people need to just really take inventory of what it is. And what do I hate? And then, what, like I said, what inspires you? So I think that tuning back into that, and I think we need to love all parts of us, like all of us. The parts that even aren't so pretty, right? Mm-hmm. That people might have said to you, like, it's like, I remember going back for my 35th high school reunion just last weekend. And I remember I wasn't so great in math. And my teacher, Coach Chamberlain, said to me, he goes, well, obviously you're not your brother, And I'm like, well, I kind of love that I wasn't good in math, because guess what? That had me discover all these other creative parts of me that are really unique, right? And so I think that it's embracing it all, it. That's what staying true is to me. I think it's also about, there's a reason why it's called a gut instinct. There's this feeling like, and that's what I think staying true is about. If it feels right, then it probably is the right thing to do, And I think that I love talking about Carolyn Meese. She talks so many times about the archetypes, which, we talk about the 4 main archetypes, that being the lover, the magician, the warrior, the sovereign, and then there's the 5th one, which is the prostitute. And lots of times we sell out. Mm-hmm. I think that not staying true is when we sell out, right? Yes. When we know it's against our values, when we know it's against what we stand for. And for me, I've always looked at, I'm kind of the lover. I love. I love all over everybody. Yeah, I like give. I do all of these things. I do that. I love everybody. And then I'm magic. I can make anything happen. But the parts of me that were also in me that, until I went through the lovely recession here in Las Vegas and, went through a divorce, I had to access more of the warrior. I had to be more protective about things. I needed to be the queen. I needed to step into, hey, I got to take care of my kingdom. So I had to I think staying true is about, staying true to that queen that knows she, deserves to have a wonderful kingdom. And then stop prostituting myself out, like stop saying yes all the times to everything, when I really needed to say no.
If you find value in this personal growth related material, I strongly recommend that you sign up for your $1 trial to my Personal Growth Club. Just head on over to personalgrowthclub.com and get a whole month of premium Personal Growth Club video training materials, meditations. You also get 6 free hypnosis sessions that are valued at over $174, all for this trial of just $1. Even if you cancel, you can keep the 6 hypnosis sessions. That's my gift to you, and that's how confident I am that you are going to love Personal Growth Club. Go to personalgrowthclub.com and start your $1 1-month trial today. Absolutely. Oh, and so many people do that, and because they're not clear on what it is that they really value, and they maybe are prioritizing other things and above themselves. And so you gotta put who you really are as a number one priority. So are there some special tools that you use, any techniques that you use on a regular basis that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm crazy. You probably, we said the big thing for me is my I am statements. I've done them since I was a little girl. My mom told me, I now know it's like a cool thing, but like I've always done my I am statements. I'm loving, I'm honest, I'm passionate, I'm compassionate, I'm kick-ass, I'm full of faith, I'm God's girl, I'm Tomb Raider tight, I'm a sexy salsa dancer, I'm the real deal, I'm a awesome mama, I'm an awesome wife, I'm hilarious, right? And that's my premium fuel. And even though like some of those things, I just like assume that physiology of it, right? And even when I not even be feeling so great, I got to tell my brain that I am that, right? Like, it's like, you ask me, you're like, do you want to do this now or we can reschedule? And I'm like, I can tap into those things every time, even though I'm physically, like, I might not feel so awesome right now. I'm a little loopy, I just go back. I just like, I make my move. I've been from the Tony Robbins world for 30 years. I make my move and I'm like, I know who I am. I know that I'm going to be able to add value. I'm going to be real and raw with people. So that's probably my premium fuel that I do every day for myself. And I really think about, I go through my, what are non-negotiables for myself every day.
Yeah.
And all of those things. And that's how I show up. Right? I show up. I think it's the biggest thing.
It's so interesting. You just kind of gave me an epiphany in that is one of the values of doing this work and doing the personal growth work, is that you just talked about how you can shift your state of being. And I think most people who need to be on and do something, if something gets in the way of that, if they went and had dental surgery the way you just did, or they didn't get in a good night's sleep, or they have a hangover or whatever, they're toast and they're not going to be able to get into the state that they need to be in order to do the things. So they would have to reschedule. But people that are doing the work, you can flip that on. It's like a switch. You know what that state feels like.
You have to be able to switch it on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to give away some advice right now. You have to be able to.
Yep.
It's called life, right? Stuff happens all the time, right?
Yes.
You get a phone call before you're about to go on stage. You get someone's cranky. Your kids. Something happens with your kids. It's life. You have to be able to go, you got to get on with the game. You got to keep going. It's interesting because, and this isn't a political thing, but I just heard, I spoke at an event in Houston where George Bush spoke. And George Bush had been criticized by so many people about, when he got the news about 9/11. right?
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, he just like didn't show any emotion, he this and that, and they were criticizing him.
Mm-hmm.
And he shared that, you know what, he had to keep reading to those kids, because if he freaked out or if he showed anything, then that what would that show the world, right? And so I think that, you know, I always ask myself, when somebody acts a certain way, maybe there's something I don't know.
Exactly. Oh, we make up so many stories.
Yeah, making an assumption.
Yeah. And it's because that's people's perception and people's filters, and they are automatically just labeling something or making a meaning out of someone's facial expression or their lack of reaction or their overreaction or whatever. And so, he's, like you said, is stepping into a state that he needed to be in to be the president. And there's nothing else to it.
You have to, you know what I mean? You got to show up.
Absolutely.
Show up. And too many people, they let, all excuses are equal, and
they are. Yeah. And do you want to fight for your limitations, or do you want to fight for your empowering beliefs? So kind of moving into what somebody can do, we're talking about being able to shift. What is something that a person can do if they want to learn how to become more true to themselves, but learn how to become more authentic? Because I've been told, recently, like sometimes, sometimes I say to myself, it's like, I really want to be more authentic. I really want to come across, as Victoria Gallagher and not put on a show, just be who I really am. But I've been told that one of the reasons why people gravitate toward me is because I am authentic, but I don't know how I do that exactly.
Right. Once again, I think that, I don't know. For me, it's like, I just do it. I don't ask myself too many questions. Like, am I being authentic? I guess like more like, all right. I think the biggest thing is, and once again, there is no new information. And because I've been in the Robbins world for so long, I'm going to reference so many things. I think that Tony talks a lot about the triad, which is your physiology, your focus, and your language. And so I say physiology first. So whenever someone's like, well, I don't know, am I being authentic? Am I this? Am I that? I always look at someone's physiology, right? And I always especially say to women, stand tall, stand proud, boobs out, right? So I think that we always say physiology first. So I don't know that I'm a wired hair terrier. I think that I'm a German Shepherd, right? I don't know that I'm 5'2". I think that I'm six feet tall. So I think it's in my physiology, the way that I stand, the way that I move, it like anchors in that feeling of like, I got this, right? So the first thing I would always say to somebody is like, I'm trying to discover it. When you're in this physiology, you're not trying to discover it. You own it, right? Like, I own this. Like, I got this. And I think that's the first thing I would say to people. So I say, look at your physiology, Are you tall? Are you proud? Do you feel like you've got that storming physiology, like no matter what, I'm going to handle this? And I don't know if you saw that, but before we did the show, I'm going to go back to that. When you said we can reschedule, I don't know if you saw, I said, I got this, right? And I just did a move, and I'm like, I got this. So I always, that's my go-to, a great go-to. And you could teach your kids to do that. You don't have to be a certain age to do that. Like, I want my daughter, like, when my kid's walking out going, I got it. I got it. I know I got it.
It's so important. It really is so important. If you're saying one thing out your mouth, but your body's doing something else, you're incongruent, and that's going to create an incongruent result.
And people need, it's sexy. Certainty is sexy. Certainly, like, you want to follow. I mean, who are you listening to? Hopefully you're following somebody that, that their lips and their feet are going in the same direction with regards to everything. So physiology, I would say first. And we talk about, focus. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on like, oh my God, what are people thinking of me? That's focus. Focus is, where focus goes, energy flows, as they say. And then the third is the language. Like, what do you say to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? I got this. Or like, oh my God, like, what are people thinking? You know, it's all the same thing. And you know what? Some people like me and some people don't. You know, I'm not for everybody. I'll just be honest. Like, I'm a girl, I'll kick you in the butt and I'll hug you at the same time. And, you know, I for sure used to be very like, oh my God, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to like do, you know, I used to, you know, do that. And sometimes I've even done it recently where it freaking bit me in the butt about something. Right.
And that wasn't being true. That wasn't staying true.
I wasn't staying true to myself, you know, and I was just trying to be a pleaser because I was scared about something. Right. So, instead of, you know, I really looking at my values in the order that I look at my values as, and, you know, like for me, it's all about integrity is like really important. Appreciation is really important, you know? So and then just really looking at my values and deciding like, is this the right decision? Right. So you got to look at your values. It all comes back to values as well.
Yes, it definitely does. Now, you showed me those cards. Can I see those again? Can I see a couple of those?
Take one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna one of those bluish ones. That one. Yeah, that one. That's good. Oh, what is that? That's a pretty color.
Show you.
I am wise.
Nice. So
it's a turtle.
Yes. What's another one? Shall we pick another one?
Let's see. The one the teal one next to the purple.
This one?
That one right there. Yes.
Okay.
I'm a teal girl. I am hope. Ooh.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then your third one?
And then my third one, I'll go with that purple one you just pulled out. Yep.
I am blessed.
Oh, I'm blessed. I am blessed. Hello, this is Victoria Gallagher. I hope you're enjoying listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. As a way of thanking you for listening, I'd like to offer you a one-time discount of 35% off your first order at hiptalk.com. Just go to hiptalk.com and enter the code PODCAST in the discount code area in your cart, and you'll receive 35% off your first order. Thank you so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast.
So basically what happened, and the reason I created these cards, is everybody's always seen me doing the I am things as part of everything that I do. And a friend of mine had breast cancer, and she goes, Loren, I love it when you just share on Facebook, you share your I ams and you talk about how you're going to do that for the week and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And she went on. And I'm like, man, you know what? I need to turn those things into cards, you know, make them pretty so that everybody has them. And I went and I like researched a bunch of designers, and I was like, it was a lot of money. Like, I don't know if anybody knows how much design work is, but it's expensive. And then I was like, oh my God, do I really have time to this? And then I was like, okay, I got to sit down and like write what today represents. And then I was like, hey, well, maybe I'll have 250 made, and if they don't sell, then I can just give them as Christmas presents, right? Mm-hmm. It's a big investment. I hope you have a fulfillment center. I've learned a lot of things along the way. I don't think, you know, like at first it was out of my house, and then that was, and then people was tracking, and then it was shipping to Australia and Europe. And finally I had to take another big bite, and, you know, hired a fulfillment center and all those things, you know, with regards to it. So, but I donate all of my money. I don't keep anything from the cards. Last year I donated to do a trip with the Starkey Foundation to go do it for 5,000 hearing aids. So that was my way to be able to give back. And so everything that the cards bring in, it's donated to a different charity. I was also able to donate a large amount of money to St. Jude's. And I just created a new set, which is a create your own card.
Ooh. Oh, I love this. So you can color those in yourself?
You color them in yourself, and then you do like your I am number. So
how cool is that? Oh, I love what you do. I love those cards, and I love that you donate the money. I mean, that's so awesome.
And I think that's why we do what we do, right? Like that we have choices. Thank you. I just, I was looking at, they say money makes you more of what you already are. So hopefully more money makes me more giving, right? And be able to do more, to share more, to do all of those things. So once again, it comes back to just owning it. Like when you're more mindful, you make mindful decisions, right? You make mindful choices of the people you hang around. You make mindful decisions of what you're going to eat. All that kind of stuff. So.
And I want to re-emphasize it because I think that is such an important message for people to understand, because there's so much weird energy around money and having a lot of money and people who have a lot of money. Money does not make you anything. It makes you more of who you already are. I love that. That's a great message to share. So, obviously you are a huge fan of affirmations. So are there any particular affirmations that are resonating more with you right now?
Gosh, that's a great question. I think I have one that I have them for different areas of my life, So I say, like a big one for me is that I do it for my physical health. I'm a fit, foxy, endurance vixen, right? And so
I am a fit, foxy, endurance-driven vixen.
Fit, foxy, endurance vixen, right?
Love
so that's when I do a lot for my health, and I my life, and then I'll wake up every morning, I'll be like, I'm so blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Make sure to do that whole thing. It just depends, how I'm feeling. I have like some cards that I'll just pull out that are related to those. I wonder if I've got them here or are they in my purse. They're probably in my purse. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just doing them all the time, man. I just feel in my brain with something, every day in every way I'm happier, healthier, sexier, wealthier, right?
Well, they're obviously working wonders for you. And, do you have any tips on when people say affirmations? Like, how can we make those affirmations stick and be powerful? Because they're saying affirmations, but then there's owning it.
It's that owning part again. You know what I mean? I don't just say it. Like, I get up and right beside my bed, I have something that inspires me. I look down, I'm like, yes, my life is so blessed, right? Then I go into the bathroom, and then I look at my manifestation boards and I think about, who do I really need to become in order to make that happen? I do my I am statements. I think about what my theme is for the week. And so I do it. I think the phone is an awesome resource to just, have an alarm goes off that gets it so that you start to condition it, and it's very automatic about you doing your affirmations. Right? I do it every time I do something, before I go on stage every time, or before I do a call, right? I always do something. I do my little, mantra to myself. I prime, and I get myself ready so that I'm ready to rock and roll. So I've got that, that I'm showing up as my very best, right? So I'm not waiting to wait, right? I'm just doing it. So I do it, I do an affirmation before I go pick my daughter up at school. I'm like, I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful for my amazing children, that they're healthy, that they're happy, that they're wise, that they're learning, that they're growing, that they're becoming, their own humans, right? And then I pick her up and I'm ready. I'm not like, I'm ready to pick her up. I'm ready to hear about her day. I'm ready to hear about the people that she's met and learn about what she's learned. So it's just filling your mind with good stuff is what I would say,
Yep, exactly. And what you focus on expands. And the way that we talk to ourselves, that's exactly what you talked about is the language, and getting into those habits and being consistent with it. And repetition really is a big key to success. What you do once doesn't really change anything, but what you do over and over and over again is who you are and who you become. So you are just an inspiration. I'm so glad that we met. And just for our listeners, the way that we connected was actually an old dear client of mine, Patrick, who has known both of us separately. And, this is just some, somebody that he thought I should know, and I'm somebody that he thought she should know. And so we decided to team up and be on each other's podcasts. And I see us continuing this relationship.
As well. For sure.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go take care of yourself and continue on with the rest of your day. And I'm just really blessed that I got an opportunity to hear your inspiring story and have you inspire our audience. You are just doing some amazing things in the world. And definitely for the listeners who have not seen these beautiful cards, you should definitely go. And where can they get those in your book and find out more about you? I do have some websites here that are going to be on the show notes. But if there's anything you want to leave our listeners with on getting more information about you.
Well, first of all, they can go to the website, Loren, Loren, Lahav, LAHAV.com. And when they punch in the code FRIEND, they will get a discount on it as well.
Ooh, love it.
Yes, and you will be getting yours in the mail soon.
Yay, I'm looking forward to them. They're so pretty. I love them, and they have wonderful messages. So definitely very inspiring. So yeah, go to LorenLahav.com. That's LorenLahav.com. Also, she has books, so you can go to the same website /author or Facebook. Loren Lahav Tribe is your Facebook page.
Yep.
So thank you once again for being on the show.
It was awesome. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to working with you soon and hearing more about all the great things you're doing too. So,
Me too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your friends. And once again, be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast if not already. We can be found as Hip Talk on all our social media accounts. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and sign up for your free self-hypnosis video training course at hiptalk.com. Be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast, and you'll be instantly notified the moment the next podcast becomes available. Also, please be sure to leave a rating and a review to tell us how you're enjoying these episodes, and that way you're making a contribution toward others getting to share in this valuable information. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. You've been listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast, brought to you by HipTalk.com, Personal Growth Club, and HypnoCloud apps available at iTunes.